Hi everyone, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. I'm Georgie and I'm really happy to have you here today to listen to me talk about my most worn and least worn me mades. I thought this would be really interesting for me to kind of go through my wardrobe and work out, whether there's maybe like a pattern or a trend with things I make, and also to kind of look back at maybe some of the earlier things I made. Before we start, I just want to say hi to all of my new subscribers. I think a lot of you were sent my way by Liz from The Bake That Sews. I absolutely love Liz. She's one of my favourite sewing Instagrammers, YouTubers, and I'm just constantly in awe of how talented she is. She's amazing at sewing. She's also a primary school teacher. She bakes, she's a mum. I just don't know how she does it, but it's actually incredible. So if you don't already know Liz, do go and give her some love. I will link her YouTube channel and Instagram below. Second thing is, I thought I'd quickly mention what I'm wearing today. So I'm wearing a Anna Allen Anthea blouse dress, which I made a few months ago out of a floral cotton poplin from, I think it was Rose and Hubble, I'm not sure. I got it at the knitting and stitching show last autumn. So yeah, I really like it. It's funny actually, because I wasn't planning on mentioning this garment in particular in my least or most worn me mades, but I haven't actually worn this one very much. Now I do actually really like it, so I think the reason why I haven't worn it that much is simply due to the time of year that I made it. So I made it during the autumn winter time, and I think maybe it's just a practical thing with these big sleeves. In the winter, obviously, it's cold, you need to be wearing a coat if you go out, and these sleeves aren't the best for wearing underneath coats. However, I do think that come spring, summer, when it's warmer, you don't necessarily need a layer on top. I will be wearing this a lot. I think it would look great with just like bare legs and trainers or sandals. So yeah, that's my Anthea blouse dress. So moving on to the video, what the format is going to be is that I've chosen 5 of my least worn and 5 of my most worn garments, and what I'm going to do is deal with them in reverse order. So in each section I will work my way up to the least worn or the most worn garment. So let's begin. So I'm going to start with my least worn list so that we can end on a high with my most worn. So starting with number 5 on my least worn garments list. So number 5 would be my, I think it's now called the Solar t-shirt, but it used to be called the Kyoto t-shirt pattern. By Paper Cut Patterns. Now I actually made 2 of these. Here is one of them, just to quickly show you. So I made 2 of these in soft jerseys from Guthrie and Garni. I made these, I think, in the very first COVID lockdown in maybe spring 2022. So I do really like these, and they are very comfy, and I've had to think about why I maybe don't wear them so much, and to be honest, I think it's purely down to personal style. I don't know about you, but during the lockdowns I think my personal style became very confused. I spent a lot of time, as I'm sure most people did, in comfy, cozy pajamas, joggers, etc. So I made these quite comfy tops, and I did wear them quite a lot then, but since we've been freed, I haven't worn these very much. So I think it's very much down to personal style. I might, see if I give them any more wear. If not, I will potentially give them away, because they are they're well made, they're very comfortable, the fabric is good quality, it's very good quality actually, so I do want to see them being worn. So that is my Solar t-shirt. The 4th garment on my least worn list is the Tilly and the Buttons indigo dress, my very first one, in a red peach skin fabric. So this is her. Now I actually really like this dress. I made this for Lunar New Year. Again, I think in 2020, just before the first lockdown. So I call this one of my John Lewis garments. So basically, when I first got back into sewing again, I just got all of my supplies from John Lewis basically. So even the pattern, I think that's how I discovered Tilly and the Buttons actually. So they stocked Tilly and the Buttons at John Lewis, and the red peach skin fabric I got from there as well. So yes, on Saturdays, when I felt like sewing, I would just nip into John Lewis and see what there was. So yes, this was one of those dresses. I actually really love this, and I don't know why I haven't worn it that much. Again, it probably was to do with timings and lockdowns. It didn't get much immediate wear after Lunar New Year in 2020. So it just got put in the wardrobe, but I do want to wear it again, and I think I will get it out this spring summer and style it maybe with some white trainers, so I think that will look quite nice. Now this fabric is like a peach skin, it's a synthetic, I'm quite sure. Again, this shows that it was one of my earlier makes when I got back into sewing, because as you might know, I don't really sew like synthetic fabric, but it does feel very nice, and actually it's not one of those synthetic fabrics which feel quite you know, like plasticky and staticky, which is one of the reasons I avoid synthetic materials. So yes, this I will try and get more wear out of, I won't be getting rid of. Next up, I have my Tilly and the Buttons Sookie dress, my one and only. Again, I made this in early lockdown 2020, I think. So I think I made this in a size 2, which is my normal Tilly and the Buttons size. I'm in between 2 and 3 for most of their patterns. So I made this in a floral cotton poplin from Soften Still, which I think is now called Self-Made. So I do like this dress, but again, I've not worn it more than maybe 2 or 3 times, and I think that this is again because of a kind of change or a confusion in personal style during the lockdowns. So unfortunately, it hasn't really been worn very much. The fabric possibly also isn't my style anymore. I think I will try and give this away because it, again, is quite well made. Even though it was before I got an overlocker, the seams inside look, you know, neat enough to give to somebody else and not be completely embarrassed or worried that it's going to fall apart. So that is my Sookie. I don't think I have much else to say about that one. Next up, I have my McCall's M7969 in an IKEA, I think it was a collaboration with Calf Kidston, cotton. So I got this fabric on eBay, it's pink and red, and I got this especially for the Pigeon Wishes pink and red party, which I think was in maybe spring 2021. So yes, this is one of a few M7969s I've got. I think the reason why I haven't worn this one is, again, because of the puffy sleeves. I made this in a kind of cooler month, didn't really wear it outside straight away because of the whole sleeve situation I explained. And then it just got put in the wardrobe and I didn't reach for it again. So I love this and I'm going to try and wear it more this summer. I think it's probably quite good for, like, you know, hanging out in the garden, barbecues, things like that. It is a full length skirt, so I kind of like extended it and added a tier. So I think that possibly contributes to me having not reached for it as much for practical reasons. And also maybe the shape is a little too, I don't know if it's unbalanced or it's just too much fabric. I might give it another wear and possibly if I feel like it needs it, I might shorten it, but we'll see. I definitely want to get more wear out of this one this summer. I made that in a size medium, which I have done for all of my M7969s. However, I think if I were to ever make this again, I would possibly size down because there's so much ease in this one. Like, it fits me, but I feel like it might look a little bit better if it was a size down, possibly. So yeah, we'll see. Look out for me wearing this dress a bit more. My next least worn dress, so we're at number 1 now. Sorry, I haven't actually been kind of keeping track of the numbers, but we're at number 1 now. And my least worn dress is my Fibermood Willa, I think it's pronounced, dress. So some of you might know that I have a little bit of beef with Fibermood in that they once asked me to write a blog post, quite a detailed one, for free, or in exchange for exposure. They literally said in exchange for exposure. So yeah, since then I've been like totally put off Fibermood. But back in the day, I would make Fibermood garments because, you know, the stuff they come out with is quite stylish. It can be quite different. But yeah, I'm sad I've been put off for life. But anyway, I made this Fibermood Willa dress using I think it's pronounced John Caldor stretch satin. Now I know the reason why I haven't worn this dress is because basically I made it as office wear. I made it in early 2020. Pretty soon after that, I never wore office wear ever again. I was a solicitor, and for a while, you know, I did go back and work from the office, but things were never the same again. We weren't meeting clients face to face. I didn't have to dress up smart. I was just going to the office quite casually, and obviously working from home as well. And then some of you might know I did quit that job, no longer a solicitor. I work for myself. No office wear needs to be worn when I'm working for myself at home. So that's the reason why I've never worn this. I actually think it's beautiful. Like, I really love the colour. The sizing is possibly like a tiny bit off. It was really difficult with can you see the shape of this? It's sort of like a raglan sleeve, and then there's a centre seam, and then this tie, it crosses around the back and to the front. So because of that, it's really difficult to like check the fit. However, the crossover at the waist does make it a bit more, you know, easy to adjust. But it still just looks a little bit big, kind of around the bust, under the arm, and on the top part of the sleeve. So you can get away with it, but it is a tiny bit big. So yes, for me, this least worn garment was not a surprise and made total sense to me. If you've already got this pattern, I would recommend it. But as I said, it's quite difficult to fit, and I probably could have got away with making one size down. So those are my least worn garments. It was good to kind of think through as to why they were my least worn garments. But now to move on to the more positive stuff, here are my 5 most worn garments. So I don't actually keep, you know, like a tally of how many times I wear things, but these are the things that, having looked back on photographs of myself and thinking back to what I reach for like every week, these are my most worn garments. So at number 5 is my Tilly and the Buttons Safiya, I suppose like culottes or wide leg trousers in black and white gingham. So if you follow me on Instagram, you probably will have seen these quite a lot. So here they are. Now, one change I did make was to remove the flat front and have the elastic going all the way around instead. I think the intention of the flat front in the pattern is to make them more flattering, but I think on me that actually makes them less flattering, because having a flat front emphasizes like the small tummy that I have. So actually, by having the elastic go all the way around and, you know, like a bit of gentle gathering all the way around, I find that personally a bit more flattering on me, and I think I've heard a couple of other people say that as well. So as with all or most of my Tilly and the Buttons makes, this is made in a size 2. and I made it in a cotton gingham from my shop Peso Sister. Now I probably wear these every week, every couple of weeks. They are surprisingly versatile. Now I like to do a lot of pattern clashing, so I will quite often wear these with floral, so a floral shirt, another garment that I will come on to next. I just love how, well, I find them personally versatile. I don't know how you feel about pattern clashing, but I just love to pair these with a floral, and they're just super comfy, and it's kind of like, you know, similar to wearing a midi skirt, but it's trousers instead. So I absolutely love these, and I think I'll get a lot more wear out of them this summer as well. I think they'll look great with my white Birkenstocks, which I've had for a few years now, but yeah, I feel like white Birkenstocks just go with everything. And since I got those, it probably has been like 3 or 4 years now, I've not had to buy another pair of sandals. They're just super comfortable, practical, and the white, I swear, goes with everything. Not a sewing recommendation, but a shoe recommendation, white Birkenstocks for you. The next thing on my list, so we're at number 4 on my most worn now, is my Tilly and the Buttons Nora, which I couldn't for the life of me find anywhere in the house. I know it's here somewhere, but yeah, just when I want to speak about it, I can't find it. So it's black and white, like a heavy jersey, stripes, which again, this is one of my John Lewis garments. One of the earlier things I made when I got back into sewing, picked up the fabric, thread, pattern from John Lewis. It is one of my, you know, very first makes since I got back into dressmaking a few years ago, which I still wear a lot to this day. Maybe less in the last couple of months, but definitely in autumn, winter. I will wear this a few times a week, every week. I normally wear things, you know, like a few times before I wash them, as long as, you know, they're not stinky. So yeah, this would be, I'd be wearing this on repeat. It'd go through the laundry. It would just be on like a continuous cycle through my wardrobe. So yeah, I think for like cost per wear, this is one of, like, you know, the best things I've ever made. Again, the fabric was a synthetic, which I was less conscious of when I first started, you know, buying my own fabric. But, you know, it's just one of those things. I wear it a lot, and it doesn't, you know, it's not staticky or anything. So yeah, I think it's great. This fabric, I think they actually still stock at John Lewis. So if you're after, you know, like a really thick, high quality sort of, I don't know what type of jersey it is, but it's kind of like ribbed as well, then I would recommend that. Now, because I couldn't find it, I can't show it to you, but I'll try and insert a picture on the screen if I can. Now, number 3 on my most worn list is some leggings I made in September last year. So I made these using a pattern from Tooth and I, who I discovered on Etsy. It's the only legging pattern I've ever bought and made, but they are perfect, so I probably won't try another one. So I made these in a size small, and using a, I think it's called Fossan Designs lycra that I bought from Good Fabric. Now, I don't think Paulina stocks this fabric anymore, but she does have some, I don't know if it's pronounced Eco-Nil or Eco-Nile lycras, probably Eco-Nile, because I'm guessing it's based on the word nylon, but they're made from recycled nylon, I believe. I was really drawn to this wave print, and I actually bought this coordinating like spot print as well, and I've still got a little bit left, but I used it to like line the top part of these leggings. That was a modification I made to the pattern, and I'm so glad I did, because adding another layer to this top part really like supports you and sucks you in at the tummy, and also possibly helps them stay up as well, because they're like, you know, kind of super elasticated and tight at the waist. The waistband doesn't have a tie elastic, it just has some flat elastic sewn into it. These leggings, the reason why they're so well worn by me is because working from home, I just wear them on like, you know, normal comfy working days. And also I wear them for running sometimes as well. So these leggings are so good that they never fall down, never roll down. They just stay up so well. So they're just, I don't know, they're just amazing. Like before I made these leggings, I was so into my Sweaty Betty leggings. I thought they were great. They fit really well and they had elastic at the waist, which helped to like keep them up, stop them from moving. Actually, they were the Sweaty Betty Power leggings, I think. And I swore by those for a few months until I decided to give making my own leggings a go. And now I probably will never buy a pair of ready to wear leggings again. I will be making my own. So yes, I would recommend firstly the pattern, and then making the modification to add in another panel, and also this fabric as well from Fossen Designs. So yep, they are number 3, was that, on my most worn me made list. Number 2, sorry if you follow me on Instagram and you have seen this garment a lot, but it's my Simply Sewing gilet. So I think it was the February issue of Simply Sewing. I forget because I wrote the article back in like October or November or something. But anyway, so I did a piece on making a gilet without, you know, having a gilet pattern. It was just a case of like taking one of your favorite bodice pieces from a pattern which, you know, fits you well, and then adapting it to make it into a gilet. So it uses pre-quilted fabric, and then you basically just like cut out the shape, sew it together, and bind it. So this is my gilet. Now it is fully reversible, however I only really wear it the yellow side out because I just prefer the yellow floral to the blue. Now I've got a couple of these. This one I bound with yet another floral. So you know me, I love my pattern clashing. This again is surprisingly versatile, but I think that's only because I love to pattern clash. So some of my favorite outfits are wearing this on top of my floral patina blouse, pairing it with my gingham Safiya trousers. A lot of the time I just wear it with my grey sweatshirt, which I got secondhand from Vinted. I've worn it with a Tilly and the Buttons, you know, detachable oversized collar on the top. So, yeah, I just love it. It's great for layering. It's brilliant for, you know, the colder months when you just want another layer. It really like hugs you in with whatever you're wearing underneath. But I also think I will potentially get some wear out of it this summer as well, because if you're, say, like, you know, a little bit chillier and just got a t-shirt on, I think that would look really good over a t-shirt. But we'll see, because I've only owned it during the colder months, so I don't actually know how that will fare in the summer. But yeah, I've worn this a ton. And then finally, we're moving on to my number 1 most worn me made garment, and they would be my Merchant and Mills heroin jeans. So I always thought I was a dress girl, but it turns out I'm a jeans girl. These are my heroin jeans. Now I have made 2 pairs of these so far. I wrote a note. So I made my first pair in March 2021. Now a bit of sizing information. So I made a size 10. So Merchant Mills uses UK sizing. So I made a size 10 despite me falling into a size 14 to 16 on the size chart. Now, I'm never a size 14 to 16. In ready to wear, I'm generally like an 8/10. So that was a bit like suspicious. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to make a 10, because quite often in jeans, definitely with ready to wear, I would always go like with a size 8, even though I generally fell between a size 8/10, just because jeans tend to like loosen up a bit with wear. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to make a size 10, because even though I fall between a size 14 to 16 apparently, I just, you know, I don't trust that, and I'm hoping that I can squeeze into a size 10. So I did make a size 10, and they were far too big. I think comparing to ready to wear, it would probably feel like more like a size 12. So they were too big for me. And I tried to give them to my mum, but I think she'd like had enough of the wide leg trend maybe, so she wasn't keen on those. I decided to give the jeans a second go. So in October 2021 that was. So what's that, like 6-7 months ago, I made my second pair, and they have been worn so much since then. I wore them at least once every week, if not a couple of times. They're basically my go-to jean. But the second time I made them, I made a size 6, which I think is the smallest size, and I'm not like super small. So I do wonder, you know, people who might be like a size 4 or a size 6, whether, you know, they've had a go and actually just had a bad time with it. But I made the smallest size, I think it was, and the only adjustments I made actually were to straighten out the side seam. So on the pattern it curves out a little bit, but I straightened that out, and now they fit really nice and snug and fitted at the bum and the waist, and then they are straight leg after that. So I think that's quite flattering. Here is my top stitching on the back. I made these heart shapes. Instructions tell you to do M's, but you could do whatever you want. I did heart shapes, and I added a little label, which is like a Kylie in the Machine hand, which Corey from Corey on Instagram, she very kindly sent a few of those to me, because I was looking all over for them and I couldn't find them. She's like, look, I'll just send you a couple from my stash, because she does have a huge stash of sewing labels. I'm super like envious. It's an incredible collection. So yeah, I'm very grateful for her to sending those to me. But yeah, my Merchant Mills heroin jeans, I made these with 14-ounce denim from Merchant Mills. So that's pretty heavy. That's one of the heavier weights of denims that you can get. My Faff domestic sewing machine only just really managed these. It struggled at the points where there were kind of like multiple layers of fabric. So that's pretty much only where you are joining the belt loops to the waistband. It really struggled with those. So I had to, you know, hand crank sometimes. And I think I ended up just using a really tiny zigzag stitch to sew those on. They're on, but it was a struggle. So yes, I think that's all I have to say about those. Now that I've made, you know, I've found the size that I need, made the adjustments that I need, I absolutely love them, and I would feel super confident making more pairs, possibly in other colours. This indigo denim I think is actually super versatile and works for like the colder months. I might make a lighter wash pair for the summer months, and I might even use the pattern to make some shorts actually. I think they would be a really nice fitting short. So that's number one, Merchant & Mills heroin jean. I thought I would just mention like a bonus garment, and those would be knickers or pants. So I made a couple of pairs of Stevie knickers by Paper Theory. I think it's a free pattern, and it's got a kind of instructional sew along YouTube video as well, so that's really great. But Stevie knickers, made a couple of pairs of, they're just in my knicker rotation, so I thought they deserved a little mention as well. I wear those a lot, and I'm due to make a couple more pairs. Now, depending on your size, Stevie knickers are a great scrap buster. I recently found like a scrap of jersey, which was about, you know, its usual width, but it was about 35 centimeters ish. And I held up my pattern pieces to it, and I realized that I could get 2 pairs of Stevie knickers out of about 35 centimeters of jersey. So if you've got any jersey left over from making t-shirts or pajamas or whatever, definitely check the Stevie knicker pattern out and get making your own knickers. The Stevie knickers are the only knickers pattern that I've made, but I don't think I'll bother trying any other ones because they work for me. No wedgies. If you like, you know, like a fairly good coverage on your bum without them being like, you know, granny knickers, and these are perfect. So yeah, do check those out. So thank you for joining me today and listening to me talk about my most worn and least worn me-made garments. I would love to hear what your most worn and least worn garments are. Sometimes I feel like it actually requires a bit more like actual thinking and looking through what you have to work out what truly is your least worn and most worn. Yeah, if you've been surprised by anything that you've made, do let me know. I'd be really interested to hear. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!